having a coach that's not afraid to let faith be a part of competing is that it teaches you that it's okay to have hope.
Yes, I have absolutely had coaches in my life that have made sure that their players focused on Christ more than their sport.
I played for one of the legends in this area, Herschel Kimbrell at McMurray, and he was, other than my dad's, probably the most second influential male figure in my life.
Faith was a big part of the reason that I chose Oklahoma. Our coach really pushed faith, and she pushed just for us to grow in that area. It was more about that than it was basketball.
It's okay to encourage your kid in ways that they can do better, but remember, the whole goal is for them to be able to have fun and enjoy the sport.
One piece of advice that I think I would give to players and parents would be just to emphasize that your sport does not define you. Your sport is not who you are.
Let your kids be kids and enjoy it. Don't put as much pressure on them. They feel the pressure whether their parents realize it or not.
Just kind of like just cut the ties. I know that's tough as parents, but I think it's important for your kids to experience growth on their own without having mom and dad in the background or in their ear.
For me, I realized that I don't want to be remembered for how many points I scored or how many rebounds a game I got, but I found that I wanted to be remembered for the type of person that I was.
Colossians 3:23 talks about working for the Lord and not for man. And I just think it's so important to remember who you're playing for, who you're serving, and ultimately who gets the glory at the end of the day.
Pray like it all depends on God, but do like it all depends on you.
What you got to see with that video was influential leaders and coaches that are in our area that have been impacted by positive coaches. Now, it doesn't mean the coach is saying you do great every time. It just means their focus is the big picture. They're always mindful. Every time they coach, every time they practice, every time they lead, they're always mindful of the big picture, which is who this player will be after they leave my care or my oversight. We want to reshape youth sports. Our focus is to give clarity of purpose, which is for us is leadership, Christian principles, as well as a great sports experience for our athletes and families. Each experience, we want it to be very, very unique and very intentional. So what we want to do is, one, we want the coaches to have a great attitude about the growth and development, the process of all the athletes. Second, we want our athletes to improve in the sport. And third, and most important, we want them to add value to who they are as a person, not just as an athlete, which will serve them long after the ball stops bouncing. What we do here is intentionality. So we have scriptures all over our walls to remind people of, hey, this is why we're here. Because we know at some point, again, the ball is going to stop for everybody. And so if that ball is going to stop, well, what kind of person have you become because of playing sports? And we want to really interject those Christian principles, because I've never seen an employer say, hey, I don't want a guy that's honest, I don't want a person that's respectful, I don't want a person that tries to serve other people, which are all Christian principles. How kids start here is pretty simple. We have a website, and we're on all the social sites as well. We post everything that's going to be going on, which is leagues, camps, clinics, tournaments. There's so many things that they can get involved in really all year long. If parents wanted their kids to be involved, they can be involved all year long. And then also we provide scholarships, so we don't want that to ever be a hindrance to anyone. So that's how they can get involved, and anybody can get involved here. A lot of people get involved by volunteer coaching, or parents come in and volunteer, or they just maybe want to learn the sport and be more involved in that. And so we could plug them in. Referee, some of them may want to be officials. Some of them run away from that also. So there's several ways that they can help volunteer as well at AYSA.
If you would like to get involved with the Abilene Youth Sports Authority, they're located at 1042 Loop 322. You can call them at 325-692-2972 or go to the website at AbileneYSA.org for all the latest updates. You can also find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.